All right, so going back to the rituals that the warlocks and secret societies, gang, practice. So they do rituals such as like the slandering campaigns. They'll begin to slander your name from an early age, if not completely create a false narrative about your character. And they'll get as many people involved. Anybody that's willing to listen, they'll get them involved. And the way that they'll make this work is because they are siphoning your energy. And when they siphon your energy, they take your essence, right? So now, because you have been broken down in such a way where you're sad, you're in fear, your integrity has been compromised. The way people view you has been compromised. So you are automatically depressed. You're now walking around in your authenticity. You're now walking around in pride, with self worth, because that's what they attack, right? So when they practice these rituals as like siphoning your energy, they also take your essence. And they'll do things such as beauty spells or make people look at you in a certain way spells. They'll even sell entities to get attached to you so that people's perception of you is construed, right? So they'll go ahead and they'll slander your name to the point that you sometimes believe it. You believe the narrative that's being played about yourself. And because you've been so beaten down, and sometimes we get into addictions because of this, right? So we're abused all of our life, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right? That when you get to a certain age, you turn to certain habits, right? And so this feeds on the narrative, right? And so it gives them more stamina to be believable, right? And you also forget who you are because now you're into these habits, and you're participating in the narrative that they want to create for you. So they are dismantling you to the point of no return, right? And so these slandering campaigns are not just a form of the defamation of character, but they're also a form of spell work. Gossiping, slandering, it's a form of spell work because it's making you believe the narrative. It's making other people go into the smear campaign and making it believable to the point that you embody that, right? So they'll do that, and obviously that's going to make you feel worthless, right? You're going to feel like you're not cared for, like you're not a good person, like you don't belong. And so that adds up to the point of them breaking you, of them either breaking you to the point where you fall into habits that are destructive, and which that would lead for you to not believe in yourself, therefore not believe in God, and not believe that you're loved or that you're worthy of doing anything with your life. And so that's how that works. They'll use things like the smear campaigns, the slandering of your name. They'll go as far as sending, attaching to you spirits like such as the Jezebel spirit, so that you yourself will destroy yourself. And with that, in order for them to attach any spirit to you, you have to be uh, vibrating at a low vibration, which is why it's important to them that you're always in fear, that you're always in shame, that you're always carrying guilt, that you feel remorse, which is why it's important for us to heal, because if we heal, there's nothing for them to attach to. That timeline doesn't exist in your mind. You've already forgiven yourself. You're walking around with pride, with love, with self worth. So when they try to bring up those timelines, to bring up those things, is non-existent. And how they do this is they'll always bring that up. That time when you were on drugs. That time when you were not so celibate, right? They'll bring that up, and they'll bring it up in subtle ways, just to poke you, and poke you, right? But once we heal, we don't entertain that. We don't live there anymore. So, it's none of the, like right now, somebody's stuck in the dark night of my soul in some stuff that I did before, to where I don't live there anymore. Be strong. I was. Moving on. Yeah. So that's how they do that, which is why it's important that we heal. When we heal, they have nothing to attach those entities to. Then the next way that they'll, these group societies, dark societies, warlocks, dark witches, gang work, is that they'll, if they can't get to you, right, because you're too strong, they'll try to attach themselves to the weakest link around you, whether that would be at work, whether that would be in your home, whether that'll be friends and families. They'll attach to whatever they can. And all of this is done spiritually, which is why it's important that we maintain a high vibration. And we do that by taking care of ourselves, which essentially is loving ourselves. And they'll attach to the weakest link. And how they get to these people is because they are not healed. They are weak. They usually are resentful of something. They usually have some wound that they didn't address, right? So because you have healed, now they're going to come to even your children, right? They'll send like some type of spiritual attack to the kids or to a friend or family member. And now you are having issues with your friend or family member or a coworker out of the nowhere, because the person around you wasn't healed. But if you're strong enough, right? If you are doing the work and you know where you stand and you are healing, or you have healed, because there's things that we heal from, and they're that like we're healed, like you're healed. And then there's things that we're actively healing that take longer, or that we just have to go back and like, oh my God, I didn't heal from this as much as I thought I did. Maybe let's go back into it and like figure it out what it was. Then if we're doing that, if we're doing the work, if we're actively healing, if we are aware, if we are in a high vibration, then we're able to identify when these things are happening, right? Or when something doesn't belong to us, or when we can even see when somebody around us is being used by the enemy. And this is so big that it's not visible to the physical eye. You really have to like be doing work on yourself. You have to be actively taking care of your body, checking what you're eating, who you're hanging around with. Because when the enemy can get to you, they're going to come near like the closest people that are near you. And sometimes those attacks that they send to you, they're going to hit the people around you, because they're not healed. So sometimes it's best to just go and heal, and then to be mindful of the company that we keep, so that they don't become, what is that called? Injured by association or something like that. I think that's what it is. There's another term for that. I don't remember right now. Yeah. So they'll use that. They'll use the people closest to you, your children, your friends, family members, to be like to attack you. And sometimes family, because they're already operating in the seven deadly sins, they will sell you out to these groups, right? And they would be the ones who orchestrate the terror, to consume your life and things like that. What else? Also, it's important to teach our children how to deal with their traumas, so that when they get older, they're not being attacked by these entities, or they can identify